Coming up on Cronkite News, putting a stop to voter intimidation. How the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office plans to protect ballot boxes.
Plus, there's a declining interest in COVID vaccine boosters. We'll explain why the CDC is concerned about one population segment in particular.
And later, we have updates on Brittney Griner's case, including the support from the Phoenix Suns.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Carolina Hassett.
And I'm Mackenzie Hamill. Thank you for joining us.
With 2 weeks until Election Day, thousands of people across the state are busy ensuring the election is run smoothly and that every voter who wants to cast a ballot can do so safely and efficiently. But as Yuri Hahn reports, threats of voter intimidation and fears of election integrity are already plaguing the system.
The Secretary of State's office says they have now sent 6 cases of alleged voter intimidation to law enforcement for investigation. Under law enforcement and election officials are calling on the public to allow for a safe election process. Photos of people in tactical gear near drop-off ballot sites have voters worried about intimidation as they go to vote. But Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer says they're doing everything they can to ensure voter safety.
We have asked people to follow the law. We have asked people to comply with election law. We have asked people to show respect. But the Sheriff's Office and the County Attorney's Office and the FBI and the DOJ have the same sort of legal parameters that are placed on any other department and administration. And we would expect them to act where it's appropriate to act. When the law's not there.
Assistant Secretary of State Ali Bones says her office has received threats ever since the 2020 election. And more recently, they've received a number of reports of intimidation from people dropping off ballots for the midterm election.
We've been getting reports of folks who are trying to drop off their ballot at drop-off locations and are feeling intimidated or that they are, being watched or filmed or even approached.
Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone said in a press conference Monday he's dedicating resources to ensure election safety, but wants people to take responsibility for their behavior and think about the rights of all community members.
People who work in those offices and those polling sites out in the community are people from the community that represent all parties, all walks of life, and all interests, and there are checks and balances.
Sheriff Penzone says resources needed for other law enforcement priorities are being used to investigate election concerns. The Secretary of State's office says they are currently making sure they have enough resources, including workers, to ensure safety and efficiency during the election in every county. In the newsroom, Yuri Hahn, Cronkite News.
Southeastern Arizona County will count all of its ballots by hand in next month's election. The Cochise County Board of Supervisors approved the plan at a special meeting yesterday. The measure was just one of several hand count proposals that were debated, and now the county plans to use the hand count as an audit to the normal machine count. Both counts need to be completed before the county will canvass election results. Supporters say the plan will increase voter trust, but Secretary of State Katie Hobbs warned Cochise County that conducting a hand count is illegal, time-intensive, and prone to human error. Earlier today, Hobbs tweeted that she'll see the board in court if they don't provide assurances they'll proceed in compliance with the law.
The CDC says there's a declining interest in COVID vaccine boosters. This decline even includes older adults who are more likely to be vaccinated than any other age group. The CDC reports 93% of people 65 and older completed their initial vaccines, but only 72% got the first booster. Now less than half have gotten their second booster shot. As for the most recent booster shots, less than 10% of the population, ages 5 and up, have gotten it. Hospitals are filling up across the nation as respiratory infections spread. The Department of Health and Human Services says more pediatric hospital beds are filled now than they have been since 2020. Officials say RSV, influenza, and enterovirus cases are high and causing medical facilities to be overwhelmed. That's causing parents to have trouble getting doctor's appointments for their children. Public health officials are advising parents to keep their children as protected as possible by making sure their kids are vaccinated and take steps to prevent the spread of germs.
The FBI is asking for your help to find a missing Navajo woman, and they're offering $5,000 to anyone with information. Take a look at your screen. This is Ella Mae Begay. Her family says she's been missing since June of 2021. She was last seen leaving her home in Sweetwater, Arizona in a gray Ford F-150 with a broken tailgate. Begay's niece, Seraphine Warren, recently walked 2,400 miles from Arizona to Washington, D.C. to raise awareness. And the FBI says the unsolved mystery of Warren's aunt is just one part of a growing problem. Hundreds of Native Americans are missing, and some of them disappeared decades ago, and their families are still grieving.
I have a hole inside of my life because we don't know where she is. It's lonely, it's empty.
The ongoing crisis has prompted the FBI to create a master database of missing Native Americans, and Begay's family hopes the public can help bring her home.
You see them on the street every day. Electric vehicles are becoming more popular. And next door in California, drivers can expect to see more with the new state rule that is sure to reduce the sale of gas-powered cars. That means the need for a dramatic increase in the number of charging stations. Cronkite News reporter Haley Forbes tells us what Arizona and California are planning to do.
So when I first got the Tesla, I didn't have the at-home charger. So honestly, it was such a hassle having to recharge it or find a charger. And then even let's say ASU, for example, sometimes I couldn't find an open charging station. So that was honestly a hassle.
Electric vehicles are coming on strong, and their sale is threatening to outpace the number of available charging stations. As a result, stations like this are being built around the country to help combat the issue of charging availability. A federal law regarding infrastructure says that $5 billion will be made available under the new National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula program. This will allow states like Arizona and California to increase charging station availability and receive a grant to make it possible. Arizona's plan recently got approved.
The plan basically calls for electrical vehicle charging stations to be placed either upgraded existing stations and eventually new stations no more than 50 miles apart, and initially on the interstate system in Arizona.
A recent rule from the California Air Resources Board says that by 2035, California will ban the sale of new gas-powered cars. If a Californian has a gas-powered car, they can still drive it. They just can't buy a new one. There are concerns that the increase in vehicle charging could put a strain on the power grid. But Paul Scott, co-founder of Plug in America, believes an increase of clean energy will help.
They're installing more solar and wind energy on the grid every year than all the electric cars sold that year would ever need, and it's by several orders of magnitude. So the grid will continue to get cleaner, even with the added demand for electric vehicles.
In Arizona, ADOT says they have included power companies in the conversation around the increased number of charging stations that are being built. In Santa Monica, Haley Forbes, Cronkite News.
ADOT has already been approved to receive more than $76 million to start building more charging stations. Do you have thoughts on charging stations? ADOT is hosting a series of public meetings around the state, including Phoenix, on November 16th. Still ahead on Cronkite News, the University of Arizona has a new program geared toward the Department of Defense. How they're hoping to be more culturally sensitive.
And over 100 people gathered at Sky Harbor International Airport Friday night for a training helping young people with intellectual and developmental disabilities feel more comfortable in airports.
Different about you, a new brightness in your eyes. Welcome to the Hotel Portofino.
How utterly charming.
Something is coming, can you feel it now?
My dreams have been invigorated.
We like stories that are going to elevate us.
Feel it now.
What is your sense now of the situation?
They gave us possibilities.
This is the opportunity to share my recipes.
There are heroes everywhere you look.
You're going deep into the heart of America.
The Holocaust is a story that Americans have to reckon with, too.
This is pure exploration.
Wow!
I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
There's a new program at the University of Arizona to provide cultural and language training to Department of Defense personnel. It's part of a language training center and is only one of 9 in the country. Arizona's program is being funded through a $1.5 million grant from the Department of Defense's Language and National Security Education Office. It's meant to provide critical training in both a second language and awareness for other cultures. The first year's courses will train about 65 students, offering Ukrainian, Russian, Arabic, Farsi, and Spanish.
Airports can be stressful for anyone. But for individuals with autism, the overstimulation that comes from the bright lights, crowds, and screening and boarding procedures can be so daunting that some families skip flying altogether. Cronkite News health reporter Geraldine Torellis tells us how Wings for Autism is working to change that by giving kids a practice run in how to fly.
Just have your tickets in your hand. We'll begin boarding here at A7 for this flight.
It was a busy Friday night in Terminal 4 at Sky Harbor Airport. Families checked in, made their way through security, then over to Gate A7. With backpacks on and tickets in hand, dozens of children with autism joined their parents in a rehearsal of sorts. They got to learn how to navigate air travel. Sky Harbor is one of over 40 airports in the U.S. that holds Wings for Autism events, and the closest participating airport to the Layton family of Austin, Texas. They packed their car and drove approximately 1,000 miles to attend.
It took us 3 days to drive here just because we've been unsuccessful flying with him. So this was really the only opportunity we had where we had enough time to kind of go through the process where he was comfortable to do it.
Wings for Autism is a program by the ARC, an organization that advocates for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The group works to break down barriers so that people with disabilities can participate in day-to-day activities within their communities, including air travel.
To be able to kind of test run this allows them that opportunity to see if this is something their child would struggle with, or how do we create other coping mechanisms so that they can be successful with flying.
The Layton's son, Brennan, got on a plane for the first time at this event, an accomplishment that filled his family with joy.
He's missed out on a lot of family things because we just didn't have the time to drive back and forth. So now the fact that food on a plane really has changed our lives. So it's a really good thing. We're really thankful. Yeah.
Yeah. The Laytons believe initiatives like Wings for Autism are crucial for inclusion.
Having programs available to families with autism that allow things to happen at the speed of autism is invaluable. We need more of them. We need more of them across the country.
Now that Brennan is more comfortable with the process, his family has a lot to look forward to.
I would rather have had this experience today and have him get on that plane than have won the lottery. You can't put a value on what Brennan just did today, and it's because of Sky Harbor, it's because of Wings for Autism and the ARC that this happened today.
In Phoenix, Geraldine Torellis, Cronkite News.
After the event, the Laytons had a real plane to catch. The family flew to California to take Brennan to Disneyland as a reward for his big achievement. If you're interested in learning more about Wings for Autism, visit thearc.org for more information. A new pilot program will allow the passport renewal process to be done virtually instead of taking a trip to the post office. The pilot program is part of a government initiative to streamline government services and websites. The initiative involves a series of windows where people can apply online. The portal opened October 11th and is still accepting applications. To apply, go to travel.state.gov to see if you meet the requirements.
No need to travel to get some fall weather. Temperatures here in the valley are nice and cool. Chad Votharine has our forecast from the Cronkite News Weather Center.
Hey, Chad Votharine here at your Cronkite News Weather Center. I'm going to give you the forecast for what the rest of the evening is going to look like, as well as the second half and early of next week. But first, let's stick on Tuesday. This evening is going to be at 6 p.m., 72 degrees, so it's still going to be fairly warm. But once it's going to have a consistent drop as the evening progresses just a little bit. It's going to get down to 65, so if you're looking to throw in a sweater, if you're walking around late at night, it's going to be the perfect weather for that right here in Phoenix. However, look at Wednesday's forecast for tomorrow. You see in the northeastern part of the state, there's going to be a little bit of a storm and some rainfall. It's going to go all the way through Flagstaff and Window Rock in the eastern part of the state. And all that storm is going to create a little bit of cooler temperatures in the northern part of the state. But of course, it's going to be pretty warm, as always, in the afternoon at the southern part of the state. Now looking at the second half of the week, 80-degree high and a pretty consistent 53 to 55 low. So still going to be pretty prime weather, but looking into the weekend as well as early next week, we're going to see some clouds on Sunday as well as Tuesday, but still going to be that nice cool weather, and the sun will definitely come back out on Wednesday with a low of about 55 to 56 those next couple of days. This is Chad Votharine here at the Cronkite News Weather Center.
I'm Joseph Furtado. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. The Super Bowl host committee has many events planned throughout the valley. Find out which one is closest to you.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for.
There's something different about you, a new brightness in your eyes. Welcome to the Hotel Portofino.
How utterly charming.
Something is coming, can you feel it now?
My dreams have been invigorated.
We like stories that are going to elevate us.
Feel it now.
What is your sense now of the situation?
Something is coming.
They gave us possibilities.
This is the opportunity to share my recipes.
There are heroes everywhere you look.
You're going deep into the heart of America.
The Holocaust is a story that Americans have to reckon with, too.
This is pure exploration.
Wow.
I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Joseph Furtado. Brittney Griner's appeal of her 9-year sentence for marijuana possession has been rejected by a Russian court. This comes a week after her 32nd birthday. Griner has been detained since February 17th and was convicted on August 4th. President Joe Biden was asked about the situation while he was getting his COVID booster shot. He told the press pool they are in constant contact with Russian authorities to get Griner out. And so far, they are not agreeing, but he says we're not stopping. Players from the Phoenix Suns addressing Griner's appeal rejection after practice today.
I know it's sad, obviously. It's upset, so hopefully, we can find a way to get her back here, get her back safe, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a sad situation. You want her here, want her back, and man, just pray for her and her family.
Well, we're just over 100 days away from the Super Bowl returning back to the Valley, and the NFL is capitalizing on one of their favorite Super Bowl cities. Cronkite News reporter Chad Votharine has more in Tempe.
February 12th is going to be the big day that Super Bowl 52 comes to town. And the Super Bowl will be headed to Phoenix for the 4th time since 1996. That's more than any other city in the entire country. At Super Bowl Media Day, the NFL, they revealed their love for Phoenix as a host city and also shared the lineup of events that will take place to help welcome the Super Bowl into town, including the addition of one new event to help celebrate the world's largest sporting event.
What I can tell you is the host committee and our partners like to level up every time Super Bowl comes to town. I'm excited to announce the first ever official Super Bowl watch party. open to the public at Hance Park.
We listen to our fans and to our partners, and the reviews are always, we want to be back in Arizona. We want to be back in Arizona. But just on behalf of everybody at the NFL, we are thrilled to be back in Arizona to be hosting the Super Bowl for the 4th time. This is a big deal for us, and 111 days sounds like a good chunk of time, but that's going to go quickly. We've got a lot to do over those 111 days and a lot of exciting things going on.
Yeah, and here's a list of all those Super Bowl events, including that first ever watch party for the Super Bowl. As you can see, these events, they're spread all across the valley. Now, last time that the Super Bowl came to Phoenix, it was Super Bowl 47 in 2015, which drew the largest TV audience in event history at just under 115 million. Along with the large TV audience, the city of Phoenix, they're expecting close to 200,000 visitors to make their way to the valley to attend all the planned Super Bowl events to help celebrate the big week. In Tempe, Chad Votherine, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Chad. Other locations of Super Bowl events across the valley include Tempe, Mesa, Goodyear, and Glendale. For more information on all things Super Bowl and the events leading up to it, you can visit azsuperbowl.com. Sports teams are often like family, but at St. Mary's High School, one family is a big part of the team. Cronkite News reporter Kevin Redfern follows the family tree on the St. Mary's girls basketball team.
Coaches and athletes often talk about their team as family, but the St. Mary's girls basketball team is literally a family affair for head coach Patricia Hollerbach. Hollerbach's husband Cameron is an assistant coach, and she's also related to 2 of the players.
Frances is now my goddaughter. My sister's on the team, so that's a different kind of love, but no favoritism, so they all get the same kind of love.
And there's a lot of love to go around. So when Frances Moreno came to Hollerbach looking for a spiritual mentor, Coach kindly agreed to step in as her godmother when Moreno got baptized.
Ever since then, it's like she's been my actual mom. I talk to her about everything. I tell her everything, how I feel, how I'm doing in school, when I'm frustrated. She's just like another mom, a bonus mom, I guess to say.
When it comes to St. Mary's hoops, nobody knows winning quite like Hollerbach, who filled up a good majority of this trophy case with 2 state titles, a state runner-up, and a multitude of individual awards. All things that she credits to the sisterhood that she learned as a player.
Well, we really do emphasize playing as a family, for one, because if you love your teammate as a person, you're going to be a little bit more inclined to like fight for them, so to speak. So it's like a true battle out there on the court.
It's safe to say that mindset has not been lost on her sister, Vanessa.
There's a tradition here for ladies' nights that we treat each other like sisters and family. It's not just a team of basketball, it's a family of basketball. And we're all sisters. Even if we get mad at each other, we still know, hey, she's my sister, she's my best friend, I'm gonna help her out.
And the family bond will continue to grow at St. Mary's. Hollerbach's 3 children are often at practice and may one day have their own branch in the Knights family tree. In Phoenix, Kevin Redfern, Cronkite News.
It has been 9 years since the Lady Knights won a state title, but Hollerbach noted anytime she can get a group of girls in the gym on their own is a win in her book. Well, that's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Carolina.
Still ahead of Cronkite News, there's a contest to help you celebrate the start of the winter season. Why the Arizona Department of Transportation is asking for your help with its snowplows.
Ain't no time for imitation, ain't no time for playing. I'm just gonna do me.
Know what I'm saying?
Try to stay out of trouble.
Where's the fun in that?
You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
seriously.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
If the past few chilly mornings have you dreaming of winter, you're not alone. Nearly 5,000 people submitted their ideas for ADOT's Name a Snowplow contest, and it's your turn to vote on the finalists. The contest has been going on all month, and now 15 finalists have been chosen, but there's only room for 3. Some of the contenders are Alice Scooper, Mount Humphreys, and Frost Responder. After the public picks their top 3, the winners will get their name decaled on a snowplow for its life. Head to ADOT's website to cast your vote.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.